guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a video about Sephora for you. So I've been promising this video for a little bit, but I had so much other things that I had committed to that it took me a little bit to get around to it. But in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys all about how to schedule a custom makeover at Sephora and what it's all about. So I know as a client sometimes it can be kind of confusing how Sephora does things. I feel like their marketing sometimes falls a little flat and they don't explain things very well. So unless you go in and talk to an employee and ask them all the questions, sometimes you just don't know how things work. And it can be intimidating to do it. So as a former employee, I thought it would be good to share my knowledge with you guys and let you know all about custom makeovers and how they work. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So if you have been in a Sephora before, you guys will know they have a beauty studio in their Sephora, and I'm gonna insert some pictures here and there of things as I talk about them. So at the beauty studio, there are two types of services that you can have done. The first type is called a custom makeover, and that is a full makeover. The second one is called a mini makeover. So I want to start with the mini makeover and explain what that's all about, and then we'll get into the custom makeover, the full makeover at the end. So first of all, a mini makeover, that can be done by any of the employees at Sephora. So everybody is allowed to do a mini makeover on a client, and before a Sephora employee even starts on the floor and gets their own brush belt, they have to watch training videos and have training done, and then they're able to start doing mini makeovers on clients. Mini makeovers are free, and when you walk up to the beauty studio, you will see a menu that says mini makeover menu, and there's several different types of mini makeovers that you can pick from. With a mini makeover, because it's free and it does not require an appointment, walk-ins are welcome. It's a 15-minute service, so you only get to pick one feature. That is just to make sure that the person who is doing the mini makeover is able to break away after 15 minutes to help service other clients. If you wanted more than that one service, I would definitely recommend the custom makeover, which I'm going to talk about next. So when you're doing the mini makeover, you look at the menu, select which particular thing you want to do, and then the way that it works is your consultant will work with you one-on-one for 15 minutes, and they will do one side of the face and you do the other. So for instance, just for an example, let's say you want to learn how to use a brow product. So what you do is you tell your consultant, hey, I want to do the brow mini makeover, and usually if you're not sure what you want to use, your consultant will walk you through it too. The consultants are very knowledgeable about products, and you know, they can give recommendations and suggestions based on what you're looking for, and they'll ask you, you know, what kind of look are you looking for? Do you already know if you want like a powder or pomade or pencil? So your consultant will walk you through that. But just for an example, let's say you want to do a brow mini makeover. So you would tell your consultant, hey, I'd like to do a brow mini makeover. If you have a specific product you want to learn how to use, you tell them at that time. They'll grab the product and bring it to the beauty studio and sit you down in a chair. Then the consultant will sanitize their brushes and products and then get started. They hand you a mirror and they go ahead and do one eyebrow. And as they're doing the brow, they'll have you watch in the mirror and watch what they're doing, and they should be talking to you step by step about how they do it. Every consultant might have a little bit different technique for doing things, but they'll be explaining to you as they go, like, this is how I like to outline the brow, then I go ahead and fill them in. If you want a feathered look, you can do it this way. So they should be giving you detailed instructions as they go through and do their side of the face. Then after they've completed their brow, they will then hand you those products and you do the other side. Now the consultant, depending on how busy it is, we are told as a product consultant to walk away and help other clients if it's very busy during a mini makeover. But they will be there for questions. So they might say, hey, I'll be right back, I need to check on another client. They'll go away for a few seconds and give you time to kind of try their technique that they showed you, but then they'll come back and check on you. So if you get stuck and you can't remember how to do it, or if you feel like it's not going as well as you want it to, you know, just take a break, wait for them to come back, and they will come back and check on you, and they will be there to answer any questions. If you really just are feeling overwhelmed by it and you're like, I can't really do this, let your consultant know. They will obviously help you finish the other side if you really get flustered or you really just can't do it. So they will be there to help you and answer questions, but it's really just an opportunity for you to learn how to use the products and the tools before you purchase them and get them home, because there's nothing worse than getting home and after they teach you how they did it and getting home and going, wait, I can't remember what they said, how did she do this? Or starting to apply it and going, wait, which step was first, or am I doing this right? All of those questions will come up as you're doing your side of the face, so you can ask your consultant while you're still there. So that's the reason that they do the half and half. It's also to free up the consultant to make sure that all the customers in the store are getting the attention that they need. All right, so that's kind of how a mini makeover works. That's like the basics to a mini makeover. And like I said, you pick one feature. There's lots of different ones. I'll try to insert a picture. There's two different types of like eyeshadow look. They do have a perfect liner. They do have like foundation, color IQs, correct and conceals, all of that. So when you walk in, if you're thinking you want a mini makeover, I would look at the menu, or if there's, like I said, if there's a certain product you're thinking about buying, like a contour product or a brow product, but you're not sure how to use that product, that's a great opportunity to just do a mini makeover. Now, the other service that is offered at the beauty studio is the CMO, or Custom Makeover, and that is a full makeover from skincare all the way to brows, contour, the whole thing. So that one does take longer. It takes 45 minutes to an hour. So make sure you set aside at least an hour, especially because you have to factor in your shopping time. You do have to make a purchase at the time of your makeover. So factor that into, don't schedule another appointment like immediately after it, because you want to give yourself a little cushion. But yeah, it's 45 minutes to an hour. It does require an appointment for a custom makeover. Just remember, it is taking a consultant off the floor for almost an hour, so they do have to schedule around that and make sure that they have lunches and things like that for their employees scheduled around that, to allow for minimum staffing on the floor during that time. The way that we were trained to do a custom makeover, unlike the mini makeover where we were encouraged to walk away from the client and let them play with the product, with a custom makeover, we are told not to walk away, with the exception of if you're grabbing a product for your makeover. That would be the only time that you break away from your client. So, for a custom makeover, you're getting the undivided attention of your consultant for that full time. So it is a really, really valuable appointment. You can ask them any questions that you have about applying makeup or skin concerns that you might have. It's a great time to kind of pick the consultant's brain. You can request a specific consultant. So let's say you know the girls at your Sephora. If you have one that you feel like you connect with better, or you feel like is very knowledgeable in a certain area where you'd like to know more about, you can request a specific consultant. So I definitely encourage that as well. And then, like I briefly mentioned, the custom makeover is a full face. So they will start with skincare. They'll do a color match and color IQ and do foundation, concealer. They will do a full eye look, brows, everything that you want. Now, if you walk in and you're like, I don't want a full face, I really only want a minimal makeup, I don't like to wear foundation, I just want maybe a simple eye look or something like that, of course they'll customize it to what you're looking for. We also do encourage clients to bring in photos, so especially if it's for an event, bring in pictures of what you're looking for, and your consultant will talk with you and find out what you're looking for and customize the makeover to fit your needs. So that is all part of the process with the consultant. Also, I did forget to mention right away, but there is a fee involved with the custom makeover. The custom makeover does require a $50 minimum purchase. So you're not actually paying a fee. I shouldn't say fee because you don't pay a fee for the service, but you do have to buy product while you're there at a minimum of $50. Now with the mini makeover, there is no fee, there is no minimum purchase. That one is completely free. But with a custom makeover, you are required to purchase at least $50 in product while you're there. So if you're planning to buy, like, let's say a palette that you know is $50, it's a great opportunity to schedule a makeover, but the purchase has to be made at the time of your appointment. So if, let's say you went in today and you bought a palette and you're like, oh, I spent $50, now I want to get the free makeover, you have to do it at the time of your appointment, and just as a reminder, the appointment does have to be made in advance. So I would call ahead, make the appointment, and then you can buy your eyeshadow palette you were wanting to buy at the time of the appointment, because you can't apply a previous purchase to your appointment, if that makes sense. I hope I explained that well. So that's the difference between like a mini makeover and a custom makeover. Now, I did get a lot of people asking me questions about the products and how they're sanitized, and if your consultant is using the products that are just like open testers and everything for the custom makeover. So as I mentioned at the beginning with the mini makeovers, any employee at Sephora can do a mini makeover. That is not the same thing for custom makeovers. Only certain employees are certified to do a custom makeover. I was a certified product consultant when I worked at Sephora. You do have to go through more training to be certified for the custom makeover, and your regional trainer has to come out and observe you do a makeover on a model and sign off on you being certified first. And when you get observed by your trainer, she is watching you to make sure that you're sanitizing your products correctly, that your technique is good, and all of that. So the people who are selected to do makeovers do have more training, and they are certified. Part of the training is learning how to properly sanitize products for makeovers. So there are the testers that are on the gondolas are what the consultants are using for your makeover. So yes, they do use the testers on the gondola, but we will sanitize every single product before it is applied to your face, and certain products we are not allowed to use because they cannot be sanitized. So things like liquid eyeliners, those cannot, liquid eyeliner pens cannot be sanitized, so we cannot use a liquid eyeliner pen. It did make it a little challenging as a consultant if a client wanted to come in with a wing liner. We had very few products that could be sanitized properly in order to accomplish that. So the Tarte paint clay was my favorite because you would squeeze it up, so the product in the tube was sanitary, so that was what I would always use for that, but you had to get a little creative. But yes, as a consultant, we are just grabbing those same testers, so if you don't like the idea of the common or testers that are out for everybody to be used on your face, then I would not recommend getting a custom makeover, but I'm pretty sure that's the same policy at if you were going to go to Macy's or MAC to get your makeup done. That's how they all do it. But like I said, we do have alcohol, we do have things to sanitize and use the products properly. So yeah. Now one thing that I always had kind of an issue with when I worked there, and I will be 100% honest with you guys, I personally wouldn't mind going to get a makeover at Sephora. I would sit down in the chair and have them do it because I trust that they will properly sanitize things, but I would bring my own mascara. Because the thing is that your consultant will use a sanitary wand, and they'll use it in the correct way to make sure it's sanitary, but you really don't know if the clients who have been using that particular applicator have been using it sanitarily. So if I were you, if you're wanting to get your makeup done at Sephora, I would recommend bringing your own mascara, or just telling the consultant to skip the mascara altogether and letting her know that you're going to do that on your own. Just because I feel like you could never be too careful when it comes to testers and keeping things sanitary, and that's an area where you just really don't know. You don't know what people are doing with those testers, and they're not being watched at all times by employees. It'd be impossible for employees to watch every single tester. So for that reason, I would highly recommend not having mascara applied if you're wanting to get a custom makeover. Same thing with lip glosses and liquid lipsticks. Anything with a submergible wand that is liquid, I would not recommend using. So when I was doing makeovers on clients, I would always try to grab a bullet lipstick or something where I 100% knew that I had the alcohol there and I could make sure it was 100% sanitary. So that's what I would definitely recommend for that. And then one other thing I did mention already is that if you have an event, you can schedule it for an event. Sephora does do event makeup, but if it's for prom or something, I highly recommend you guys. During prom season, we were always so busy and so booked, and we'd always take on extra CMOs. We had like a certain number of CMOs we were allowed in a day depending on how many people were scheduled on the floor, but we would schedule extra people and extra CMOs during the prom season, and we would still get booked 2 weeks in advance. So if you're wanting to do it for prom, I highly recommend calling right away. Call right away when you know your prom is. They usually book 2 to 3 weeks out on that. Even maybe put yourself on a wait list if they have that at your store. Some stores do and some don't. But call in advance for things like that because it will book up quickly. And bringing photos is a great idea. When you're looking for photos though, I highly recommend looking for someone who has a similar eye shape to yours, a similar eye color to yours, something that's gonna complement your face as well as the person. Just like if you're going to get your hair done, when you go to the hairstylist, you're not going to pick someone who has much different hair type than you do when you bring in pictures. It's the same thing for makeup. If you're bringing in photos for your consultant, try to find something that is someone who looks similar to you, has a similar look to you as far as coloring, eye color, hair color, and eye shape. That's very important. A couple other important things I forgot to mention. First of all, if you are a VIB Rouge, you do qualify for free custom makeovers. So you can schedule appointments anytime that you desire to get a free full makeover. It does still require an appointment. However, you can't just walk in and get a free one, but you do get a free makeover, which basically means that you do not have to spend $50 when you come in for that custom makeover. And the other thing I wanted to mention is when you first qualify to become a VIB, you do receive a coupon for a free makeover at that time as well. And that coupon is meant to be used one time. It's a one-time use coupon that will also give you one free custom makeover where you don't have to purchase the minimum $50 purchase at that time either. But again, it does still require the appointment. But yeah, I feel like that's everything. If you guys have any other questions on how a mini makeover or a custom makeover works, leave them below and I'd be happy to answer those. I am also going to be doing a video dedicated to testers and how to properly use testers and the do's and the don'ts there. So that is coming soon as well, probably right after the holidays because I do have a lot of other content to get up right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you have questions or comments, leave them below and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.